Hello and welcome to the second series here on Alsatia Productions. My name is Jack Coburn and today we're racing two races at Lakeside in Queensland, Australia. The first one is, of course, for sports and GT cars. And the second one is for touring cars for the Cortina. Now if you saw the opening round or the opening thing of the GPL Long Play series here, you'll know I crashed out here. Graham Hill actually won that race from Jim Clark by quarter second, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Alright, so let's get around here. Now, obviously, I think I'm definitely racing on a more modern version of Lakeside. But yeah, this will do. Alright, we're coming under the Dunlop Bridge. So it says Grand Prix Jaguar, which only goes to show you that, you know, this track was still operating into the 21st century when it closed in 2001. Yeah, here we go. I'm not really feeling this lane, so I don't know how many GT races I'm going to do this year with this car. This thing has like no handling whatsoever compared to the Cortina, so that's going to be fun to figure out. Lurid slides galore. But yeah. So we're going to run the practice session, the qualifying session, and the race for the GT cars, and then we'll move over to the touring cars after that. Yeah. Overall, like I said in the GPL video, I really love Lakeside. I think it is probably one of Australia's trickiest tracks to learn how to get around properly. It's just so short that you can't make up time if you make a mistake. And it's very technical. Now, like I said, it is on the top 5 circuits list of Australia for me. And the top 5 circuits list basically includes a bunch of tracks that don't exist anymore. And that list goes a little something like this. So, Amaroo Park, near Sydney, Australia, which closed in 1998, that tops the list. Unfortunately, I will never be able to race there in real life, though I'd love to have, because like Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, or actually a little like Lakeside, it's tight, short, twisty, and technical. And it's a lot of fun to drive, especially in rFactor, and at some point we'll take some kind of car there, probably some Formula car there, so you can see this in full action. So that's what we'll do for that. And then number 2, of course, is Mount Panorama, Bathurst. I mean, honestly, how can you go wrong with Mount Panorama? Ironically, both Amaroo Park and Bathurst were owned by the same organization, pretty much, the Australian Racing Drivers Club, or ARDC. They actually own Sydney Motorsports Park, or as it was known for many years, and I called by this name, Eastern Creek. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Mount Panorama is just fantastic. Eastern Creek actually is about 6th on my list. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Bathurst, and I think if it doesn't clash with the United States Grand Prix weekend in my Grand Prix Legends Long Play, you'll see me compete in the Armstrong 500 in 1965. So there's that. Then there is number 3 is Oran Park, another track in Sydney that no longer exists. I mean, it's actually the first place I ever saw Australian touring car racing on the TV. one lazy Saturday afternoon in September of 2000. I think it was 2000. Yeah, I think it definitely had to be 2000. They just played a bunch of Australian super touring races back to back to back on the speed division, and that kind of hooked me for life. Loved Doran Park. I mean, especially watching supercars racing there. That was fantastic. And then number 4, of course, is Lakeside. And I don't need to really go into that detail again. And number 5 is Longford. Even though I drove absolutely dog doo-doo in that race series last week, the Grand Prix Legends series, I love Longford. I just love it. Feels like some of the roads in the Brandywine Valley that I just take my little Subaru out on the weekend to go for a nice little drive. I mean, Longford just feels like that kind of place. And I absolutely adore that place. So, yeah, I think, I can't really go wrong with that. If I ever, like I said in the Grand Prix Legends video, if I ever do make it to Australia, I'm going to Queensland. And I want to visit Queensland on a weekend where I can take a car out at Lakeside and give it a go. Only because, frankly, this place is just awesome. Alright, so let's move on to the qualifying. Let's finish this session. Where am I, 15th? I'm behind 2 vans. I mean, we're definitely not catching the E-Type, the Corvette, the Cobras, the DB4 Zagato. But if we can beat the Healy, I'll be happy about that. So let's see what we can do there. Alright. Qualifying time.
Real field is enabled.
Alright. Let's get out there and see what we can do around here. Now, of course, this is just a fictional sports car event during the Tasman weekend, but I have to imagine there were both sports and touring car races during that weekend. So I just figure, doing triple duty seemed like a good idea at the time. And I just couldn't think of anything else I really wanted to do for the second series. So I just was like, you know what, I'll just move the sports and GT, or the sports and touring car race to the second series here for just this weekend. Now, I am trying to figure out if Sebring is the next race, or if I go to Brands Hatch for the Race of Champions. But we'll figure that out in a little bit. Because frankly, I would not mind doing a Sebring race. Probably do a 3-hour, GT sports and GT event, mimicking the 12-hour. But of course, we have a 45-minute touring car race mimicking the 3-hour touring car race that took place before it, won by Clark and his Cortina. So I figure, you know what, I want to win it in my Cortina, because frankly, I really love driving that little car. I definitely don't like this as much as I like my Cortina. Can't really tell you why. Well, actually I can. This thing is low. I mean, frankly, we could really make this thing handle. If we could make this thing handle like an F1 car, I mean, I would not clean up, but, do pretty well. Why isn't Ireland in a different colored car? Are there 2 Inez Ireland cars in this race? Okay. It's the second series. We let it all hang out. And again, it's just a fictional sports car race, so honestly, who cares? Right, 113. That's not too bad. Oh, no, that's not an Ireland car ahead of me. Okay, never mind. Come on, Nick, I'm just a doofus. God, this thing has, like, terrible handling. Jeez. And if you wonder why you're not hearing the plummy tones of my crew chief, it's because I turned that off. We didn't have 50-car radios in this era, and I just think having to hear him go 113.007 was just like, yeah. So anyway. Alright, the Cobras have not come out to play yet. That's why I'm still provisional toll around here, because the Cobras and everything under the sun that is faster than me has not come out to play. See what I mean? Now they're coming out to play. I just want to sit on the class pole, frankly. Ooh, boy. This is going to be interesting. Okay. Get up. Get up. Let go. Gonna shove you down the inside. Attaboy. I love, just driving. Like, I mean, like I said, I didn't ever want this to become a racing games channel. I think that just limits what we can do here. But I absolutely just love driving cars. Like, honestly, and I know so many of you had this same theory, same thing. I wanted to be a Top Gear presenter, and I don't mean like a Clarkson, Hammond, or May Top Gear presenter. Maybe a Fifth Gear presenter is like a better example of that. I just wanted to play with cars and just talk about them. And the worst part about it is, and I will say this to the end of time, cars are starting to become not interesting. Like, honestly, like, good for Ford for saying, you know what, we're going to build a four-door Mustang sedan, and it's going to be an actual sedan, not some stupid crossover thing. I think that's great. Like, kudos to them for being like, yeah, you know what, no. But I think they should call it something other than a Mustang. Like, I don't know, Falcon. Like, I think by this point we can call this car a Falcon and just leave it at that. Like, we're putting the Maverick name on a tiny truck. That's okay. I'm okay with that. The Maverick, other than in Brazil where it's a most loved car, that's all well and good, but yeah, I think we could definitely come up with a, better name than Mustang Sedan. I mean, yeah, so, I don't know, cars could start becoming more interesting. One thing I am laughing about with this thing is just some of the names that are listed on this thing, other than like, Dan Gurney and like Bob Bondurant and those guys, like some of these names I can just remember from being a kid and reading historic racing reports. Yeah, that, just like Joaquin Fulch is a name. I mean, he drove a Williams historic F1 car for many years, and various things. Of course, is E-Type. Like, yeah. I mean, some of these names, I'm like, wow, I remember these names when I was a kid and thinking that was so cool. All right, let's get to the race.
Real fuel is enabled.
All right. 4 laps around Lakeside. I think that'll be enough for everybody involved. I put a little more gas in, just to make sure. Alright, let's get through this. Honestly, if we can just win our class, I'd kind of be okay with that. Ooh. I'm gonna have to sneak it down the inside with half these guys. You gotta move. Run through these from the loop. Dude! That was the move. Alright. Going through. Alright, come on. Oh god. Oh god. Oh. Boy, this car really just wants tank slappers the whole way around. This car is unbelievable. I mean, I have like a newfound respect. Not that I did it already. I mean, Jim Clark, of course, is my favorite driver. As a, and has been since I was about 5 years old. But, man alive, how did he drive this thing? This thing feels like an absolute bundle of junk. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the great challenge. Can we beat the Cobras? I mean, if this was a 10-lap race, I think we could win the whole thing. But let's just beat some of the Cobras so we get some more lands to the buying public. Alright, underneath you. Give me some space, Ken! See, Lakeside is one of these places where this car really is, like, shining through as we sneak under a Aston Martin BB Forza Gatto. I'm really going to have to pick my place to do this. I mean, that Cobra just cleared off into the distance. But, let's see if I can get around this. Oh. Come on, come on. Not out of it yet. Oh! Oh no. Alright, come on. Get the class win. At least I can see them. Come on. Class podium's not going to be good enough today. Come on. Come on. Third in class. Nope, nope, nope. No, you don't. No, you don't. You didn't take my spot. Ah, that stunk. Oh boy. If I didn't try to shove it down the inside on that Aston Martin, we would have been okay. I had time. It's just stupid on my part. That was absolutely dumb. I will fully admit that was dumb. We could have definitely had 6th place overall on that one. And definitely had the class win. It was a good race, I just wish I'd driven better. But Lakeside makes me really want to have to push the car beyond the control. Am I supposed to be back in? No, but I'm gonna park it there anyway. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this portion. Stay tuned for the touring car race, which will come up in just a sec. Hello, and you joined me again for the touring car race. Oh good, Alan Moffat's going to be up against me in this practice session. Just one of the all-time great Australian racing drivers, even though he was born in Canada. 4-time winner of the Bathurst 1000. Always drove Fords except for 1 year in 1986. No, actually that's not true. So Alan Moffat came to Australia in the late 1960s off the back of a pretty good career in American club racing. And like, you know, Trans Am and stuff like that. To become Australia's first professional racing driver. I would say it succeeded because in 1970 and 71 he basically dominated Bathurst, winning the Hardy Ferodo 500. Losing to Peter Brock in 1972 was probably very hard for him to, you know, take, but it was a wet year, and the Holden-Drawn, it just was the better car around there that year. But in 1973, it really came good with that beautiful Ford Falcon Coupe, winning with Ian Gagan to get Black Pete his, you know, his learned patterns with the thing he'd been trying for 10 years. And then in 1977 won with Jackie X to basically cement X's, you know, career as endurance racing god. Just absolutely wonderful. Then he drove for Mazda in the early 1980s, winning an Australian Touring Car Championship in their turbo-ported RX-7s, before joining Peter Brock in the all-time Australian Dream Team of Brock and Moffat taking on the Europeans in Group A touring car racing, and they probably could have won Bathurst in 1986, except for a small couple problems. But yeah, just an absolute legend. Sometimes a little rough around the edges, but you know what? That's okay. I think I am too. He won his final race, a 500-kilometer touring car race at Fuji Speedway in 1989, 2 days after turning 50, because he promised his wife he would stop racing after he turned 50, with one final appearance. I think he won that too, in a Mazda Miata All-Star race to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Macau Grand Prix in November 1989. After that, he became a team owner and a fantastic commentator on Channel 7's Australian touring car coverage alongside Mike Raymond. Like, honestly, I think he spent most of my 20s just doing, "Oh, we're live from Amaru Park! It's Dickie Johnson in the show Sierra," just doing his voice all the time as much as humanly possible. Moffat, sadly, Moffat developed Alzheimer's disease in his later years, and sadly passed away in, I guess, November of 2025 at the age of 86. Just an absolute, truly great driver. And I can't imagine what Australian touring car racing would have been like without him. You know, just a fantastic driver by any stretch of the imagination. Alright, we're doing pretty well around here. If I can beat Tony Adamowicz in the Group 44 Falcon, that would be, or Group 44 14, that would be absolutely fantastic, because Tony A to Z is another one of those, you know, American racing legends for road racing who doesn't get his fair share. I mean, I think he drove into the 1980s and drove Group C cars. I think he drove Bob Tullius's Jaguar in IMSA, come to think of it, so, I mean, he had a rich and varied career, to say the least. I think he actually might have driven Nissans as well. As well as being a very good Formula 5000 driver as well, so. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if I can go any faster around here. Nope. Lakeside is one of these tricky places that you just have to really figure out. And if I wasn't recording this the day before it comes out, I might have spent a little more time practicing for it, but that's okay. It's all about fun, and that's kind of what Sunday Driver is. It is that casual look at sim racing. I don't actually do a lot of testing beforehand. I'll just run races for practice when I feel like it, and if I want to try ideas out. So like I ran an hour touring car race at Zandvoort and was running about 5th when I grew bored with it. The reason I kind of grew bored with it was because, well, I just had better things I wanted to be. I had other things I kind of wanted to film. So, that was kind of what I was working on. Alright, we really have got to get this part moving. I can't decide if I'm just taking too much curb or what around here, but I mean, I can't get this thing to move for the life of me, it feels like. Alright, let's see what we can do. Come on, push on. There you go, look at that. Alright, slide the car wide. Move in this direction. Alright, let's get down the hill. Yeah, I think if Supercars ever decides to do like an all-star weekend, like NASCAR does, just come to Lakeside. Like, I think the local government could, be a little bit supportive of, hey, Australia's biggest sporting series wants to come here and do something. I think we could suspend, the decibel rating for a little while. I mean, anybody who, complains about a track, they're just like the worst kind of person. And I'm not kidding. If you buy a house near a racetrack and you complain about living near a racetrack, honestly, you should just be, I don't care. I think you should just be sent someplace else altogether. Like, you know what? Get shipped to the desert, frankly, if you don't want to live near, if you buy a house near a racetrack and then complain about said racetrack. Like, you and your house can just get shipped to the desert and be around nobody else, and just, that's okay. You are a terrible person if you do that. Oh, I love this house, but it's near a racetrack. Well, I could get the racetrack, but no. Go jump in on me, frankly. Like, honestly, there are things to be enjoyed about racetracks. I mean, even Saturday night sprint cars are like a great time had by all. Like, I don't poo-poo any form of racing, really. If you like going to tractor pulls, which I don't really consider totally a form of racing, you know what? Have at it, because it's something to do. And you could be doing anything else at that moment, but if that's what you're into, God bless you for it, because, you know what? You're getting out and doing something. Oh boy. I'm gonna run this car right out of gas, because I was dreaming about, people living, Alright, let's see just how bad this is going to be. Alright, we're 15th. Alright, we are 2 seconds off Tony A to Z. Alright, let's give him an actual go. Let's see if this is the way to do this. Alright. I think... Yeah, I can't go any faster. Frankly. Whew. Actually, you know what? Let's head to the garage and see what I can do to make this thing really a bit faster. But I can't decide if I need better It's just so hard to say. It's so hard to say. What I might need, it's like trying to say Tony H's last name. I think that's as close as I'm going to get. Alright. Okay. Downforce, I forget, has no jurisdiction here. I want the thing to be a little less wobbly. And by doing that, I'm also gonna do that to it. I'm gonna see just how. Oop, not what I wanted. What I wanted was this. Alright, here we go.
His neighbor.
Right. Alright, here we go. Watch me try to convince myself my changes are like the thing that is going to rock me up the charts here. It's not. It's not. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't know what I'm doing half the time I set up a car. I mean, I've read The Unfair Advantage by Mark Donahue, and I think I know how to set up a car. I mean, when we play Gran Turismo 2, you're going to see me do a lot of crazy things on our 32 Skyline, so they can go super quick. But, yeah. Does this car doesn't feel terrible. It doesn't feel boring. Honestly, if there are any veteran rFactor players who know how to get the best out of a load, or I'll tell you what, even GT Legends, if there are any of those kind of guys out there who watch this video and can give me any sort of clue about how to get a Lotus Cortina to just feel good enough to be an overall winner, just leave comments down below. Like, send me anything you can. I will gladly admit I don't know what I'm doing. And while it doesn't really matter, it does bother me somewhat that I don't know what I'm doing. I would like to be better at this kind of like car setup thing. And maybe not for Lakeside, but like anywhere else on the calendar. I just would like to be really good around there. I definitely want to be good around Zandvoort. I mean, I love that place. I know I'm going to lose at Monza if we wind up not having to compete in F1 and instead I get to compete in the EPCC, but I mean, we just made up 2/10 of second around here for all that work. Alright, let's finish the session. Where am I going to be? 13th. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in class ahead of me. I'm gonna absolutely go for it this time. Alright.
Real feel is enabled.
Oh! Well, I've just toasted the engine. Alright, hang tight. I'm gonna just restart this. Normally I don't show you this portion, but I'm gonna just restart that because that was ridiculous. Don't worry, I did not toast the engine on that one. I just have to keep Alan off that behind me. No. 3.4 liter Jag can just disappear into the, into the ether. Just gonna run the minis, down the Cortinas. The big Mustang's holding everybody up. Alright. I think my two real good passing opportunities, so if I can get the car to settle through the Dunlop Bridge area. That is, and we're going to come down to the inside here, and I'm just going to chuck this as fast as I can down the inside. Don't even think about it. You're not getting this position back. Nope, you had your chance. You got beat by a whole bunch of Cortinas, so therefore, you know what? You don't get to challenge for titles. You don't get nope. Nope, 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 nope. Alright. Head of the class. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. If I fall alongside somebody and they were had an open face helmet on, they were yelling nope after it, I think I just would be like, yep, okay, I'm backing up. This guy, yep, this guy wants it more than me. He's yelling nope. I wonder if Senna yelled that when Bruce turned into him at the Cassian Triangle in 1989. Like, no! And then Bruce went, yup! Like, Senna went, no! And Bruce went, we! It just like slammed into him. Okay. Now, I could be happy with top first car in class, or I could do something real stupid and try to attack these Mustangs like it's going out of style. I think I'm going to do something real stupid and attack these Mustangs like it's going out of style. I think I'm better handling than they do. I mean, they would have definitely won it longer. I'm definitely going to shove it down the inside. Okay. We have one lap to try to pass 6 cars. Yeah, I'm going to go all out and just bang fenders as much as humanly possible. Because frankly, I want to win. I would like to take another overall victory somewhere. I'm just having that scene down. It just covered my bases. Okay. The Falcons are going to be, a real challenge, but isn't it funny they're all like painted the exact same? Come on, come on, come on. Oh! The absolute cheek! Unbelievable! I mean, 6! We have the class victory, don't get me wrong. All about that. That asshole nearly flipped me. Unbelievable! That was ridiculous! Huh. Absolute. Man, one lap more. I definitely wouldn't have been trying that move on the Falcon. My God. Jeez! Yeah. That's what that guy gets for that move. Alright! So, I finished 6th overall, win the class. Yeah, that was, yeah. Alright! So thank you so much for watching. This has been Sunday Driver's 2nd series. We'll see you next time when we play, I guess, more rFactor. But stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Thanks so much again for watching. Please do like and subscribe. If you do subscribe, leave a comment down below and we'll give you a follow back. We're just this kind of channel. And have a wonderful week, everybody, and keep on racing. Bye-bye. This has been a presentation of Alsatian Productions.